Also good. Is this the same Vanessa that I know?
Also, that is the one.
I see. Does it mean it's the same class?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I see. Interesting. In fact, I came for dawn meeting. That is why I am a bit late. So I'm on my way home, but I just decided to use the phone to connect you guys. And so give me some few minutes. Let me get home, and then I'll project the material for you. So we continue with the discussion. It's natural resource perception. What is the title, Vanessa? What is your full title? How did you register that? I hope this time you will not come and give me problems with your registration. What is the title, the course title in your portal?
Resource management.
Okay, resource management. Okay, okay. So please, give me some few minutes. I'm working, so let me get home. So please just hold on for me. I hope that is fine, Vanessa.
Yes, sir.
So just hold on for me. I will join you very soon. Yeah, hello.
Hello, sir. Please, there is echo in sounds.
I'm coming. Can you see my screen?
Yes, yeah, but there is echo in the sound.
Yeah, it's because of my phone. I'm now using the laptop.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay, sir. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Okay. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, sir, I can.
My network my network had a problem. Please forgive me. That's why I went off briefly. Okay. Okay, so we are looking. Please, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Give me an indication that you can hear me, please.
Yes, sir.
What of the rest, please? When I want to get more feedback, it's not only one person.
Yes, sir.
We can hear you.
Agbeshi Beauty. You are there, you are not talking. Ebenezer Opon.
Sir, please, we can hear you.
Akusiga Daniel, Ebenezer Opon, Elijah Apiakubi, Emmanuel Do, Margaret A. Tre, Nyami,
I'm here.
and then Vanessa Nelson Abba. Okay. So we are looking at resource management. Resource management. In fact, there's a very beautiful, nice course, and I know you will learn a lot. You see, everyone needs a certain level of resources to make his or her life go on. You require certain degree of resources in whatever that you do. In fact, we have several kinds of resources, and in terms of human resource, if you look at it, classification, human resource, we have natural resource. We can also talk about spiritual resource, but that one may be going to another realm. And you require them all to make life meaningful. However, in this course, we are focused, or our focus is on natural resource. Please, natural resource. You should not depart from the foundation of our engagement. Natural resource. We know we have human resource, we have capital resource, we have several kinds of resource, but this particular course is designated or is delimited to natural resource. So when we talk of natural resource, we have land and everything that exists on it. Now, when we talk of natural resource, in a broader sense, we are looking at land and everything that exists on it. They occur naturally. So these are the characteristics. They occur naturally within environment, relatively undistributed by mankind. So the distribution of natural resource is not done by man. It is nature that has done it so. So that is why resources or natural resources are not equal or evenly distributed. But nature, in its own wisdom, has done it in such a way that wherever that you find yourself, you have what it takes to make life go on. That is the beauty of nature. They include biotic and abiotic environment. So when we say biotic, we are looking at living organisms and non-living organisms. So when you hear biotic and abiotic, we are looking at, so when we talk of natural resources, we are looking at both living and non-living organisms within the environment. Many of them are essential for human survival, whilst others are used to satisfy human wants. And we shall look at the want doctrine. We shall look at the concept of the want doctrine. So what we are saying is that the natural resources, some are very essential. They are important for human survival, whilst others are for our wants. So there's a difference between needs and wants. So over the years, there has been concern over resources, or the concern over resources is not new. Now, from where I'm seated, I can see from the screen galamseyers. Now, if you ask what is the biggest challenge confronting us as a country, it's galamsey. In fact, I am never against mining, because I believe that nature gave us that resource for our own benefit, for our own good. But the unfortunate part is that we lack the wisdom. What is confronting us as a nation is not anything, it's a wisdom problem. From presidency to the ordinary, whoever is on the street, the biggest problem confronting us as far as galamsey is concerned is wisdom. It's wisdom. We don't have it. That is our problem, because we don't mind more than South Africans. But have you heard of anything of that sort? There are several countries in the world that mine gold. Have you heard of that? No. So what is the difference? It is wisdom problem, and we'll get to know that as we go on. So people have often wondered where tomorrow's bread might come from, even in times of abundance. So in natural resource, we say humanity is not confronted with scarcity. But there's a nice quote, and I want you to keep it. I captured it somewhere. Humanity is not a victim of scarcity, but a driver of abundance. Keep that statement. Humanity is not a victim of scarcity, but a driver of abundance. Keep this statement somewhere. I will ask you one day, so please keep it. Humanity is not a victim of scarcity, but a driver of abundance. So even in times of abundance, we still think about where tomorrow's bread will come from. I've always said that nothing under this sun is free. No. If you go for a party and they say it is buffet, serve yourself. Never think it is free. What is free to you is at the cost of somebody. Somebody paid for it. Do you agree? If you say, oh, serve yourself, this is buffet, then you pick your plate. You fetch a pepperensa, you fetch jollof, you fetch plain rice, you fetch awache, you fetch everything full. And you go and sit down only to take 2 spoons, and then they dump the rest into the dustbin. You're a wicked person. Why would you behave like that? You behave like that because to you were told the thing is free. But I'm telling you that nothing under this sun is free. Even salvation is not free. It costs somebody's life. So every reasonable, rational person thinks about it. Yes, today we are satisfied, but where will tomorrow's bread come from? Land degradation, diminishing land carrying capacity, access to water, control over certain minerals have been crucial questions. The side effects of resource use. So increasing human pressure on resource. And you see, as population increases, there is pressure on resource utilization. Now, many people think that natural resources are a free gift of nature. This statement will keep it somewhere and be thinking about it. But I am here to tell you that resources are not free, and I will explain. But that is some people's thinking, that it is a free gift of nature. Now, this course is about the need to appreciate the fact that many of the seemingly numerous resources are finite and non-renewable. So you see, people think, like I was using the buffet as an example. It is free. Let's scatter some and put some away. But this course will make you understand that there are certain resources, they are finite. When you use it, they get exhausted. Some of them are non-renewable, even though we say that at the long run, all natural resources are renewable. However, the reason why it is classified, no, let me not jump into chapter 2. Okay, let's go step by step. Now, hence, there is the need for proper, rational, and sustainable use and management of the resource. So, yes, the thing is free. In your mind, you think it is free, but there should be proper use. There should be rational use. Some people abuse resources, they abuse the environment. They don't care, like the way we are doing to the environment. We are mining the gold, all right, no problem. That one, I don't have any problem. When it comes to the mining of the gold, I don't have any problem. But the way we are mining it, is it sustainable? Is it environmental friendly? Can we say that in the next 50 years, when you and I are gone, the people we have produced or in the process of producing, will this environment be conducive for their survival? That is the sustainability question you have to ask when you pounce on any natural resource. So that is the opening remark. So the question then is, what is a resource? So someone will say it is two words put together, resource. So when you are tired, when you are thirsty, you go to a source and you resource yourself. So the ability to go into a source and resource yourself makes it a resource. But there are several empirical or academic definitions of the concept of resource, and there are a few of them we want to talk about. One is by Brain Goodall in 1987. He said that it is something material or abstract that can be used to satisfy some human wants or deficiency. So any material that can satisfy a deficiency is a resource. So what is a deficiency? A shortfall. You lack something. Then like I use water as an example. You are thirsty. That is a deficiency. You need water to quench your thirst. So the water becomes a resource. That's according to Brain Goodall. Johnson, 1994. It is a concept employed to denote sources of human satisfaction, wealth, or strength. So anything that gives human satisfaction or wealth or strength, it is what? A resource. Stelly and Clark, they are of the view that resources are substances that can be transformed into artifact. And when we say artifact, what does it mean? In any culture you come across, the materials that are used to make that culture to progress is what is called an artifact. So a way of life of a group of people. So the materials that they use, that is an artifact. So substances that can be transferred or transformed into artifacts are also resources. Now, O'Hari, TV and O'Hari in 1981, they also said that it is a stock of some materials of use or value to humans. So when you look at the four scholars and their definition of the concept of resource, what is the common or the commonest denominator across the four definitions? I will demand that answer from you. So please keep note of that. Of all the four definitions, what is the commonest denominator or the commonest idea that you can pick from the definition of resource? Okay, let me pick one or two views from that. Yes, talk to me. Hello.
Hello, sir. Yeah, human wants.
Is that what runs through all the four?
Yes.
Okay, who else? Who else?
Hello,
And
sir.
also resource.
Yes. You said, come again, please.
I said resource.
Yeah, it is the definition. So all the definitions we have looked at, I want you to tell me the commonest concept or understanding that you see that all the four, if you look at their definition, I can say that this is a particular thing they are talking about. I'm not getting it. All the two answers are not accurate.
Okay.
Say, I can deduce. Listen,
Yes.
they are material of value.
Okay, material of value. Okay. Okay, so value. Yes. Any other? Yes. Yes. Noah. Oh, Noah, you just joined. Yes. What is the commonest? So you see that all the definition is talking about satisfying human wants. Anything that satisfies your want, anything that is of use to man, anything that can satisfy your deficiency. So water, so money. I remember one day I was going to K University. I wasn't driving. So I joined a trotro and I had a bag. And on my side, the seat beside me was empty. So I put my bag on it, and the mate said, if you put your bag on it, then you pay for the seat. And I said, well, if it is only about money, don't worry. Money was meant to solve a problem. And all the people, they tend to look at me. And it is true. But unfortunately, there are some people who keep money in their accounts. Some of them, they even die and leave the money in their account. They are hungry, they won't use it. Money was meant to deliver us from difficulties, from challenges. You understand? Yes. Yes. That's when I went to Accra. Oh, once I got to Kanesha, I picked my Uber app, papa. And the Uber dropped. I just joined straight to Aboni. And you go and join Trotro. Hey. So now, what do you call it? Old, some rickety nail hold your trousers. If you have the resource, it delivers you from difficulty. It delivers you from problem. Even the Bible says that money is defense. Have you come across that? It is in the Bible. Money. You see, knowledge is strength. Money is defense.
Yeah, the book of Ecclesiastes.
Exactly. You understand? Yes. So that is resource for you. Resource delivers you from your predicament. All that we are doing under the sun is to amass resources for our safety, for our deliverance, for our life to go on. So if you look at all the four definitions, they are talking about a central issue. Anything that satisfies human want, anything that will make life go on. That is all. Told my senior lecturer that in a house that there is money, children don't cry in the morning. When you go to a house where children cry unreasonably in the morning, it's poverty. It's a sign of poverty. No. You understand? Yes. Yes. This course, I'm going to tell you a lot of things, so be ready for me. I'm coming. So you see the definitions there. Now, let's go to geography. So in geography, it is a property of physical environment, such as minerals or natural vegetation, which humans can use to satisfy their needs. Technically speaking, a property only becomes a resource when it is exploited by humans. Take note of that. So technically speaking, a property only becomes a resource when it is exploited by humans. So example, climate may be considered as natural resource, especially for countries that depend on tourism. So when you go to Kenya and the other African countries, when they have favorable climate, it results in diversity of natural resources. So a lot of people go there. You understand? Yes. In economics, resources refer to factors of production not created through harnessed, though harnessed by effort. So factors of production, you remember, Eco 101. Oh, okay. Even SS, the economics that you did, factors of production, they talk about entrepreneur, they talk about land, they talk about capital. You remember them? Yes, they are all resources. In conclusion, a natural resource, therefore, is anything people can use which comes from nature. So if somebody also quotes this, the person is right. If someone also says that a resource is anything that humans find it useful, that is right. So you see, until one finds a need for a material, that material is not a resource. Please take note of that. So what is a resource to you might not necessarily be a resource to another person. Sometimes people on the street, they say that Ghana has a lot of natural resources. Yes, to the layman it is right. But when you go into research, when you go to resource proper class, you will be taught, like you are being taught, that until you find a need, and we will tell why we are saying you so. So all places have their own natural resources. I told you that because the distribution is not done by man, but rather by nature, it is not equally distributed. So what we have as Ghanaians, when you go to Togo, they don't have it. What the Togolese also have, some of them, when you come to Ghana, we don't have. What the Nigerians have, when you come to Ghana, we don't have. What we have, Nigerians don't have. What we have as Africans, Europeans, they don't have. What Asians have, Africans, we don't have. That is how nature distributed it. But in the wisdom of nature, he has made it in such a way that wherever you find yourself, you will get what will make life advance. So when people do not have certain resources they need, they can either replace, take note of that, with another resource. Do you get it? So if you don't have what you need, what do? You replace it with another. That's why I said money was meant to solve problems. So I may not have Gary, but I have the physical cash. So I have to give you my physical cash and take the Gary. I may not have a car, but you have it. So I will rent the car. I'll pay for it, and then you also render me a service or trade with another country to get the resource. There are other countries in the world, they don't have natural water. Are you aware of that? When you go to is this Saudi Arabia? They don't have single access river Bakukura and Daho. Where they play the World Cup 2022. Is it Qatar or where? Is it Qatar?
Yeah, Qatar.
Yes. Every tree they grow is connected to a pipe. It's the pipe, a bomb to give the constant water. Those countries, they don't have access to single river. Oh, okay. So some resources are difficult to find. Some people sometimes fight to have them. Why is Russian fighting Americans? What do you think they are just fighting them for fighting's sake? Why do you think Americans go to Iran and other countries to wage wars? Some of them, they just do that to siphon their oil reserves. Why do you think these Americans instigated the overthrow of many of these African leaders? So they can get access to their resources. Now, that upon which one relies for aid, support, and supply is still on the resource, means to attain a given end. It is a resource. I want to move from Cape Coast campus, UCC campus, to Kumasi. My desire is to be in Kumasi. How do I get there? A resource will have to propel me there, which is the car. So we say it is a means to attain a given end.
the capacity to take advantage of opportunities or extricate oneself from difficulty. When you have your car, it gives you so much comfort. It gives you so much luxury. From a 2CD, a 170, people fight over change. Bottom line, they didn't have what it takes. In fact, a lot of people are in prison because they didn't have the resources that could take them out of that difficulty. They didn't have what it takes to hire a lawyer. So they end up in jail. So they could not extricate themselves from that condition. Harsh weather conditions, had to walk several kilometers. They didn't have that resource. So anything that helps you to extricate yourself from that challenge. Now, the function that a material may perform to an operation of attaining a given end is paramount. This makes resources subjective, functional, and dynamic. So why is it subjective? Like I said from the beginning, that what might be a resource to Vanessa might not be a resource to me. You understand? It's subjective. She sees it differently. Or his exposure, his knowledge, her experience, her knowledge about that particular resource, I may not have it. So to her, she can use it. Me, I can't use it. That is a subjectivity. The functionality, how the thing satisfy Vanessa's wants, I might not be in that position. So it is not a resource to me. And then the differences, the dynamics. Why? Because resources are not equally distributed. They are not equally even in Ghana here, when you go to the north, they have Sha, they have the Dawadawa, they have the Baoba. But when you come to the south, it is not so. You understand? And when you come to the south, you can also mention other resources that when you go to the north, it is not there. Please, do you understand? Okay. Hello, are you guys there?
Yes, please.
Yes,
Doc.
sir.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. So a resource is an abstraction reflecting human appraisal and relating to a function or operation. So anything abstract, anything that reflects, so the appraiser based on my judgment, based on my evaluation, based on the information that I have. You understand? So anything that is based on my judgment, my appraisal, my evaluation, that is what we are talking about. So humans regard as resource only those elements which they have the knowledge and technology to utilize and which provide desired goods and services. Take note. Anything which they have what? Knowledge and technology. I'll come to that. So natural attributes failing to meet these criteria remain unvalued. So therefore, it becomes what is called what? Neutral stuff. So you see, when people collectively call all the materials in the environment as a resource, it is not true. It is not true. All the materials in the environment, those that we do not have need or use for, they are called what? Neutral stuff. It is called neutral stuff. But those that we have a need for, or those that can satisfy our needs or our wants, those become a resource. So you can't put them all together and say they are a resource. No, until you find a need, until you find usefulness of that, it is not a resource. It is called a neutral stuff. So resources vary over time and space to reflect variation in knowledge, information, technology, social structure, religion, economic condition, political systems. And as we go on, I will explain all these things to you. Okay. So resources are defined by human ability and not need, not by nature. So we are saying that resource is what? Defined by human ability and need, not by nature. Do you understand this statement? So far, so good. Resources are defined by human ability and need, not by nature. So nature doesn't define what becomes a resource. It is rather human ability and need. Hello, are you guys there?
Yes, sir.
So contomere is on in our backyard. Or let me even take plantain leaves. What is the need for it? What is its usefulness? It is useful because human beings found it as such. Do you agree? It is not just because it is nature that has given it to us now, automatically it is a resource. No. It is a resource because we found a need for it, period. Until we find a need for it, it is not a resource. I've told you, in that case, it becomes what? A neutral stuff. So what people classify all of them as a resource, it is not true. Ask the person, how useful is it to you? That is why when you go to South Africa, there's a group of people called the Zulus. The Zulus, they eat frogs. They make delicacy out of that. See how beauty, you see how your body will say, yes. To you, it is not a resource. To them, it is a resource. Let them enjoy. That's why it's good you go to school. So when I see people who have gone to school and still they have problem with people's culture, it beats my imagination. It is their life. Allow them. You understand? Yes. So human beings evaluate the natural environment and classify as resources those substances, organisms, or physical properties which they are capable of utilizing and which provide desired goods and services. Resources are therefore dynamic cultural concept. So on campus, regular students, sometimes we give this to them as an assignment. Justify why a resource is a dynamic cultural concept. And it is true. It is a dynamic cultural concept. Because I've given you a classic example. The Zulus in South Africa, they eat frog. But when you come here, we don't. Our way of life is different. The way we find ourselves is different. So the environment, the climate conditions even determines what can grow here and what can grow in South Africa. What can grow in southern Ghana and what can grow in northern Ghana. They are not the same because of climate variability. Yes, somebody want to talk. Let me hear you.
Yes, I said some people even eat snakes.
Yes, the python. The python is very delicious. You know python? You know python? Yes. Python. Onyini, Nanka, that some of them is about 15 to 20 feet. I've seen one, they cut it into pieces, and it was when they put it in the barrel, the old one, ankra, it was full. And that snake is very delicious. Nanka is very, very delicious. I'm telling you, when I was growing up, the man I stayed with, we used to eat it. And then the oil, the fat from that animal is used It has a high medicinal value. Many of the pharmaceutical drugs, they use some of those facts from that animal. You can't even, it is not even easy to come by. But those days, 20 something years ago, where I grew up, when we used to have proper forests, not like what today we have destroyed everything. They were there. You understand? So the culture differs. When you go to the north, my good friends, the Dagati people, they get dog. They want to enjoy Daniel Apusiga, you know, my man from my country land. When they would devour the dog, no problem at all. Go to Vanessa and his people in Ho, and when they get a cat, very fantastic. They are within their terrain. You understand? So the cultural differences makes resources a dynamic cultural concept. When you go to, there is a group of people called the Eskimos in Greenland. You can read about them. In their culture, if a man visits his friend that night, it is in their culture that the one that has visited will have to take the wife of the one that he has visited. So if, for example, I visit Daniela Pusiga, that night, Daniel's wife automatically becomes mine. Can you imagine? It's culture. It is culture. Don't go and condemn and you saw them, please. It is. It varies. It varies. The way they do their things is different. It is the same thing that the resources around us also behaves. But let's go on. So resources, so having looked at all these things, now there is misconceptions about resources. When you say misconception, what does it mean? When you say misconception, what does it mean? Say a misconception.
The bad ideas we have about it.
Okay, the bad idea or the wrong idea. Let's use it that way.
Okay.
Or the belief you hold, it is not factual. Let's please, do you understand that is a misconception? So you don't know the person, but in your room you have concluded this person is a bad person. No. That's a misconception. Okay. So misconceptions about resources. Number one, resources are substances or tangible things. Now, it's a misconception. It is not the full truth, because there are certain resources that are not tangible, and I will explain. You see, it is even the reason why Africans, and for that matter Ghanaians, are struggling. There is a kind of resource that is called innate resource, INNATE, innate. It is lodged in human beings. For example, love, trustworthiness, honesty, sincerity, peace, love. Have I mentioned love? Yes. These are resources, but they are not tangible. Is it everyone who is honest? It's a question to the class. Is it everyone who is honest? Is it everyone who is trustworthy? Is it everyone that is a peace-loving person?
No.
Good. But it is very, very, very important. You see, if you have access to all the tangible resources, but you don't have access to the intangible ones, there is no way you will prosper. That is the reason why we are struggling. The average Ghanaian is very dishonest. I'm telling you. Always we say, oh, politician. It's not only politicians. The average Ghanaian is very insincere. You cannot correct. We are wicked people. And usually we see it with the politicians. Hey, Galamsey, declare state of emergency. Stop Galamsey. If I am given the power in the next 10 days, if Galamsey is not stopped, I will put my position down. You have been in office for 10 months. Now you are using semantics. You see what I'm talking about? We are not honest. Yeah, correct. Black man, we 10-9. We are me when I see you, that's the first thing because this I may not sign me could say yes, this person can be trusted. But when I see you for the first time, no, I wouldn't give you that full trust. We are not. My senior lecturer told me that he went to the US as a student. And he went to a supermarket, bought so many things. Then he came out. Now, he said in front of the supermarket, there is a big table that you put the things you have bought on, and there is a paper, like the cement paper. You've rolled it, big one. So you tear some, then you package your things, then you carry it away. So in the process, he left his wallet, wallet full of money, wallet with all his ID card, everything. He left it on the table. Then he left. Now, when he got to his hostel, then he touched his pocket. Said, "My goodness, my wallet." So he instantly felt like he was still in Ghana. Then he dropped the thing in front of his door. Then ran. So him say, and also to say, but the son who are now say KJT then he got there. When he got to the table, there were equally people who were parceling their things, but no one got closer to the wallet. So when he got there, the way he left the wallet, so he came to meet it. He stood there, said, "May the Lord bless the white man. May God bless the white man." I know what you are thinking, but let's go on. So it is a misconception to believe that resources are only tangible resources. So that is one, or tangible things. Number two, resources are tangible at the expense of human and cultural resources, such as value. Okay, so resources as a single asset. So again, it is also a misconception to think that resource is a single asset. No, various things come together to give you what you have. So if you see fufu is not a single product. And quite by even the soup, there is a meat in it. The soup, there is tomatoes in it. The cassava, there is plantain in it. So it is a collective kind of things that come together to give you that single resource. You see, so a resource is not a single asset. Okay. Again, resources are static and or fixed. Rather, resources are living phenomena. So what we are saying is that it is a misconception to believe that a resource is just stagnant. It's no. There are mobile resources. Examples of mobile resources. River is a mobile resource. It moves from one place to another. Bears. So in natural resource, we have what is called migratory bears. There are bears that cross continent. There are bears that cross countries. You understand? So don't think resources are static. They are a living phenomena. They can expand and they can also contract. It can reduce and it can expand. So resources can cease to exist. So these are the misconceptions. So resources can cease to exist in three forms. One, they may cease to be perceived as useful or valuable. For example, when cheaper or more widely available substitute becomes available or when taste and values change. So that resource can cease. Why? Because now there is what? There is a substitute. So can you give an example? So maybe Cerelac and Gary. So let's say we used to enjoy Gary until Cerelac was introduced. So you see that some way, somehow, Gary wouldn't be there. Why? We have gotten a substitute, which is the Cerelac. You can give several examples. When they are exhausted, there are certain resources you can use it. NASA. And they may be damaged or destroyed in the course of use and management. So these are the three ways in which resource can cease to exist. Another misconception is that resources are free. Remember, we said that people think that resources are free gift of nature. It is a misconception. Why are we saying resources are not free? They are not free because they come with resistance, obstacles, impediment. Do you know honey? Have you ever extracted honey before? A war. Have you ever seen the process of extracting honey? Have you ever witnessed some before? Talk to me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What are the challenges?
Sir, the bees, if you don't take care, they will beat you. So you have to use smoke to let them go.
Very good. So that is the obstacle that we are talking about. They are not free. You must overcome obstacle, resistance. Do you think nature is stupid to have kept gold in the land? You have to go deep before you get it. You could have put it on the street so that when you are walking around, you just be picking them. No. It is not, when it happens outside, then it is not valuable. So resources are not free because they come with obstacles. So we have primary resistance and we have what? Secondary resistance. Hurricanes, earthquake, volcanic eruption, tidal waves. Sometimes when I go and stand by the seashore and I look at the people who go to the sea, some of them, they spend 3 weeks, 1 month. Hey, to stay on the sea for a day. I can't imagine. I can't imagine. But people go there to fish for 3 weeks, 1 month before they come. Their life is at danger to do that. Sometimes such hazard-prone areas. There is a mineral called platinum. Have you heard of platinum before? It is mined from the bottom of the ocean. A poisse. And on the idea phones now you use, there is a portion of platinum in it. That makes it expensive. Platinum. When they use it to manufacture jewelries and those stuff, watch, Cartier. Have you heard of a watch brand called Cartier? $15,000, $20,000. Oh, bet you to $20,000 a quarter watch. You will be angry. It is poverty. Poverty makes people become angry over things they should not. It is expensive. You understand? So there are primary resistance and there are secondary resistance. They refer to the result of human interference with or impact on nature. Examples of aspects of environment are perceived in negative terms when humans have not yet found any use for them. So remember, we said that until you find a need for it, it is not a resource. So what makes it difficult for man to find a need for a resource? And I will answer that question as we go on. So perception is very, very important. So when we talk of perception, it is a process by which an individual acquires information as a result of contact with the environment. So how do we get information? By sight, by touch, by vocal, by smell, by hearing. Once you hear my voice, you know, oh, this is Dr. Eric. Once I hear Vanessa's voice, I know. Once I hear Beauty's voice, I know. Once I hear Daniel's voice, I know. When I hear Apia, I know. It is a way of gathering information. So these are organized and interpreted in with regards to his or her experiences and attitude. It is a cognitive or psychological process that enables an individual to convert sensory stimulus or stimulation into organized or coherent experience. So why is perception an important aspect in natural resource? It is important because if you send two people to the same environment to explore, they will come with different information. Do you agree? The answer is yes. Why? Because perception differs. The way I see things is different from how Vanessa sees things. Yes. Why? Because maybe her experience is different from mine. Where she grew up, that's not how I grew up. You understand? The dynamics are there, so it makes it difficult. Into be one man, baby, we don't see opportunities, but you bring another person that very day, that person will see opportunities there. Will do what that now. I hope you know there are people like that. Once they get there, they're very sensitive. Here, we can do this, we can do that. But that same place, people have been living there for 20 years. They have poor perception. So resource perception, that refers to individual subjective assessment or conception of substance in the environment. Such assessments are viewed as being formed by the awareness due to the use of reference point in a person's everyday life. That immediate reaction to distinctive or unusual features, that awareness drawn from past experiences and parallel situations. So resource analysts are concerned about the impression one has of a social stimulus or set of stimuli, as that impression is modified by the perceiver's past experience, his previous experiences, and the individual state at the moment he is viewing the stimulus of interest. So since an individual's perception is governed by his past experience, present outlook, conditioned by values, frame of mind, social circumstances, and expectations, two people viewing the same stimulus may see different images. I've talked about that. Therefore, what is a resource to one person may not necessarily be a resource to another person. A particular resource for one person may also be a resource to another person, but satisfaction derived from this same resource may be in different ways. If resources can be created by changing perception, they can be destroyed. They can also be destroyed or have their value reduced in the same way. So if you change your mind or if you change how you see it, it has the potential of affecting it, whether it is a resource or not. So environmental materials that are at one time regarded as a resource can cease to be perceived as useful and can fall into disuse. Resources can therefore be created and, in a sense, destroyed by changing perception and changing the technology. There are also other ways by which resources can be destroyed. They may be simply be used or cease to exist. Whilst theoretically possible, this rarely happens in an absolute terms. As the resource is depleted and exhaustion looms, the unit price of the material rises. It's a basic economics. So gradually, water is becoming expensive in Ghana. Now, one day, not even one day, it has started. We are importing water. Sure, baby, I import it. Sometimes when you go to some of the supermarket, you see all import it. There are people who don't drink water from Ghana. Now they are even saying that some of the consumption that we enjoy, it is not healthy. Vanessa, have you heard of that? Those of you go to market. Yes. So resources are not static, but expand and contract in response to human wants. Into the more the people want it, can affect its expansion. And when humans don't want it, it can also affect how we expand it. It will be reduced. I saw you be an attorney, you want to expand. When people are not coming, you reduce it. So Zimmerman had used the phrase, resources are not, they become. This is another statement that we usually also ask our students on campus. Explain the concept or the statement that resources are not, they become. But from what I have said, you should be able to explain this. Let me hear someone. Resources are not, they become. How do you understand it? Think about that. Tell me.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Hello, sir.
I said you should think about it and tell me.
Uh-huh. So, in my opinion, based on what you have said, meaning that uh, materials are not a resource until we get a use of it or transform it to be useful to the society or to the individual.
So, so okay, that's fine. What else? What else? Yeah, that's a powerful point. So, what else? Resources are not, they become. They become. Resources are not, they become. Vanessa, are you there? Beauty, are you there? Resources are not, they become. Okay.
Yeah, let me add up.
Yes, talk to me.
So, meaning that the materials
Yes.
until the human being or whoever
Yes.
finds a way to graduate it to be a useful material.
Okay.
That's why they say they become. So
Very
it
good.
depends on the human thinking ability power
Very good.
to transform it to be
Ah,
useful.
good. So in our discussion, you remember I shown you a statement that said that is it a resource is a human need and not what do you call it, nature that presents it. Let's go back. There was a statement. I don't know whether you took notice of that. I'll come back to the 21. There was a statement I told you should take notice of. Let me go back. Hmm. 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 Oh, where from this? mm, mm, mm. Have you seen the red line? Resources are defined by human ability and need. Not by what? Hello? Hello?
So the slide that is showing is not what you are reading.
Oh, really? Have you seen it?
Yes, sir.
Resources
And not
are
defined by human ability and need, not by nature.
very good. So connect this one to why we are saying that resources are not, they become. Do you get it now? Do you get it now? So we are saying that resources are defined by human ability and need, not by nature. So the mere fact that nature has provided neutral stuff or a lot of materials doesn't make it a resource. It takes conscious effort. You understand? Even gold, it has to be extracted. It has to go through processes before it becomes useful. You get it. So Zimmerman is saying that resources are not, but rather they become. Somebody will have to put in technology. Somebody will have to put in information. Somebody will have to put in culture. You have to go there. Even for food, the food that you prepare in the house, it doesn't just come. You need to put in a lot of things. You go here, you come there, you pound, you mix with this, you mix with that, you turn it around, you go to the mill a whole lot before you finally get what you are looking for. So resources are not, they become. So whatever you have seen as a resource, it took somebody's effort. It took somebody's effort to bring that to realization. It did not just come through thin air, because we are saying that resources are defined by human ability and need, not by nature. No. So take note of that. So one, so we have the functional operation. A minute, let me go to the washroom and come. Are we there? Hello, are you there? Hello,
Yes, sir.
are you following the discussion, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's look at the functional or operational theory of resource. Now, to understand the relationship between man and resource, it is necessary to conceive of human beings as existing on two levels. So look at this. We have man with small letters and we have man with capital letters. The man with the small letters is what is called man animal level. And then man with the capital letters, we call it the cultural level. Now, man at the creature or the animal level had only natural wants and natural capacities and therefore commanded only natural resources and was exposed to natural resistance. So basically what we are trying to say here is that man at two levels, man at the creature level, he only had natural wants. And when we say you only had natural one, it had to do with eating, sleeping, and then covering himself, the basic necessities. Yes. And why was it so? Not that he didn't want to, but he was restricted by natural resistances. His functions were of organistic attribute, which the organisms cannot change at will, but which are changed passively under pressure from the environment. However, if you look at man at the cultural level, man liberated himself from the limitations of passive adaptation and natural selection, which holds all other creatures in bondage. Man used his brain power, physical strength, and vocal apparatus to do this. So what we are saying, the difference here is that man at the animal level or the creature level, he was limited. He was limited. But man at the cultural level, now he had gotten brain power. He can now think, he can now reason, to turn some of the resources that he has into other finished product or semi-finished product. He used the physical muscle. But the man at the animal level, that is the primitive age, when man was just moving around, collecting what nature provided. But man at the cultural level, or school, they are now using science. Look at those days when we're cutting down trees using machete and the axe. Today, the chainsaw, within 10 minutes, you come down. Those days, they were using almost 1 week to bring one tree down. So you see the difference. He learned to make fire and also to build shelter. He invented tools, tilled the land, domesticated animals, harnessed the inanimate forces of nature, and gained dominion over all creatures. Man learned to exercise the supreme human prerogative of active adaptation. So the bulk of man's resources are the result of human ingenuity, aided by slowly, patient, painfully acquired knowledge and experience. So we say that knowledge is an intangible resource lodged within individuals and is used to appraise all other resources. So we conclude, Zimmerman concluded by saying that knowledge is the mother of all resources. You remember from the beginning, I told you that the challenge we are facing as Ghanaian is a knowledge program. Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 15, it says, the worry of the fool labors him. Why? For they do not know. If you go and if you go and write exams and you fail, it's not because the question was hard. You didn't know. I tell students, you didn't know. Knowledge is the mother of all resources. Do you know why lawyers are revered? We fear them. Why? Because we know they are intelligent. It might not always be the case. No lawyer be an being, but because they have created that niche for themselves, they become more or less fearsome in the society. If you almost some style be, but there are teachers, there are other people, architects be or more being brutal. But you see, we have that perception that lawyers are powerful. Why? Because they are intelligent. So knowledge is the mother of all resources. Knowledge. You don't know. You see, let me give you examples. If you go to the seashore, today is Saturday, if you go to the landing beach, by now the canoes, they've come with their fish. Those who want to buy, they are buying. Now the women who buy the fish, they peel off the scale. The fish, Now when they peel off the scales of the fish, they throw them back into the sea. Do you know that the same scales of the fish, when you go to Japan, they use it in manufacturing toothpaste. They use the scales of the fish. What is the difference? Knowledge is absent. Between the Japanese that use the scale of the fish to manufacture toothpaste, any Ghana nina way or to go. What is the difference? It is knowledge. Do you know the fiber of coconut? Kubehono. When we buy the coconut, we enjoy the food. We set fire into it. Do you know it is the fiber of the coconut that is used in manufacturing rope? The rope that is used in tying heavy goods on cargo cars. Cocoa nesa articulator track na lodu niema sa homa brown the den ye de kube hum. Are you aware of that? We set fire into it. What is the difference? Knowledge. Do you know that in 2018, those who love football, Serbia played World Cup qualifier with Portugal. Cristiano Ronaldo scored a last-minute goal and it was ruled off. So when the referee ended the match, the guy got angry and he removed his armband as a captain and he threw it on the field. So they all left. The next day, the cleaners of the stadium came and one person picked the armband. Do you know that armband? They sold it, they auctioned it for 18 million euros and they sent it to a charity home. Somebody bought it. And Kayameno stadium, Ronaldo, armband, look at that foolish boy. Because the referee didn't accept the goal, he threw his armband away. You and I would have just picked it and go and put it in a dustbin. Somebody saw. You see the perception? Very, very important. What is a resource to somebody might not be a resource to you. Different perspective, knowledge and experience is at play. Let me give you another example. When Obama was the president, are you people there? Hello, are you listening? More.
Yes.
They are listening.
When Obama was the president of the US, he visited Australia and he went to a restaurant to eat. When he finished there, the restaurant workers, they took all the plates, the cutlery set, the napkin, and all the things that Obama used to eat. And they molded a cage, a transparent cage, and they put all those cutlery set and those plates that Obama used, the wine glass and all the things, and kept it in it. And it became a tourist attraction. And it fetched the restaurant more money than the food they were selling. Resources are not, they become. Resources are not, they become. Resources are not, they become. May this statement sink into your spirit. Resources are not, they become. Resources, it's like I'm preaching to you. Resources are not, they become. Resources are not, they become. Resources are defined by human ability and need, not by nature. The only reason why you are poor is because you don't have what it takes to turn things around. The day you discover knowledge about one thing, that is the beginning of your breakthrough. And no. That is all. That is all. You need only one knowledge. One to transform something into another. And one. So knowledge is very, very important. Why this is a resource to someone, but it's not a resource. The common denominator is the knowledge or the information that the two people possess about the material. Knowledge, therefore, is the mother of all resources. So take note of that. Now, there are basic concepts that we will use in our discussion. One of them is a reserve. Now, when we talk of reserve, they are simply proportion of resource, especially minerals, which can be exploited under certain existing conditions and with available technology. Then we also have resource base. They are the sum total of all components within the environment that will become a resource if they could be extracted from the environment. Then we also have what a term concept that we call resource process, the total flow of a resource. The total flow of a resource. Pardon me, give me a minute. Yes, sir. Hello. Yeah, good morning. Your line, what you chase you? Yamina dum also. And then Musha or friend and Francis Nana Mubisan. There Mudiscamo or the Monday or Tuesday na ese koto moto na wa chari dem. You know chem da weduma dos so e fa ha na asen ha e ya abobo ya na etwi. Intina e bia e wie ye.
Ama maybe but mami ya unka.
Ebe
No fam, intina any na my friend me catch in the makota bottle but mo fam intina fix it. But any na me fix it.
oh, okay.
No me to me fam no.
Okay. Ejaba na baba.
And let me to me fam but mami ya unka. Me from mo engine up to na mo be bia.
Afra. Na etin.
Come in person.
Me pass am so the new work akro. Okay, awo mo gudu mo ya azenti bia mo wi amofrel. So motuma ba amofrel. So we come ba so aye mo hwe da foforo. Ai. Yo, but that's it. I'm sorry, so I had to attend to this call. Okay. So we have resource process. These are just concepts you can easily carrying capacity, sub-economic resource. Please take note of that. Now, remember we talked about the relationship between population and resource. Vanessa and the husband, if they have a kid, they can only cook 2 cups of rice, they will be okay. But if they get 2 more children, the number has increased. They can no longer cook 2 cups of rice. Or yes, they may have to go for 5 kg. Why? The numbers have increased. So there is a direct relationship between population and resource. So look at the year-on-year changes up to the year 2022. I think this thing has to be updated. The Earth recorded its first 1 billion people in the year 1804. In 1927, we strike the 2nd billion. 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. So by the year 2022, the Earth had more than 8 billion people. Now look at the year changes. Number of years it has taken to add from 0 to 123 years. What is the difference? You see that as the population is increasing, it is increasing at a faster rate, because from the 0 to 123, then it reduced, the year difference reduced to where? 33. Then from 33 to 14 to 12, 12, 12, 12, 11. So you see the difference. While the population is increasing, it is increasing at a faster rate. Do you get the analogy? Do you see that? Look at the end, the billion and the number of years taken to add. Do you see it? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay.
Compare, do the analysis.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, I'm listening it.
Yes, sir.
Aha.
So,
Okay.
sir, it means as it is coming, it takes shorter years to get a billion.
Very good. So what is the implications? What do they tell you?
Then there will be a pressure on resources.
Very good. That tells you that there will be pressure on resource. Remember, you require a resource to make life move on. Okay. So there are two schools of thought. We have what is called the prophet of doom, and we have the prophet of complacent unconcern. Now, in 1980, there was this biologist called Paul Ehrlich. Paul Ehrlich was a proponent of the prophet of doom. He authored a book called The Population Bomb. He had a wager. When you say wager is simply bet, or no will be two bet, or no will be two bet. He had a bet with an economist called Julian Simeon. Julian Simeon belonged to the prophet of complacent unconcern. Now, Julian Simeon, who was an economist, said that prices of 5 key metals, chromium, copper, nickel, tin, and tungsten, will rise over the next decade. Their bet sought to test two competing visions of the future. You see, the prophet of doom, they believe that looking at the rate at which population is increasing, if care is not taken, a day will come, it will be difficult for man to survive. There is this man called Reverend Thomas Malthus. If you study population, I don't know whether you guys have done population and development. There is a man called Reverend Thomas Malthus, the Malthusian population theory. If you study population, surely you will come across this name. Population anywhere, that name must appear. He was a reverend minister. And he was going from house to house, naming people's children. Even those days was 1778 or so. And he said, looking at the rate at which people are giving birth, if nothing is done, a day will come, population will outstrip food production. And when it happens like that, there will be hunger and starvation. In fact, people will eat human beings. So he suggested that people should not even marry. And if they even marry, they should not give birth, and a whole lot. So they belong to the prophet of doom, together with this Paul Ehrlich guy I am talking about, and several other people. They belong to that. Hey, Charlie, let's look at tomorrow. It's like the Galamsey activity. Hey, if the rate at which people are doing Galamsey, if we don't take care, tomorrow we will not get water to drink, we will not get cassava, we will not get food. Then there is another school of thought that believes that no, don't worry, tomorrow will take care of itself. Technology will come. You see, this argument, we have a course at the master's level called rural land policy. And sometimes, not even sometimes, every year we take the students who offer this course to Nzulezu, where the Ghana Gas in Zima area, they go and survey the place. And when they come, they write a report, and we group them under these two schools of thought, and then they advance argument. So you listen to the two sides, the prophet of doom and the prophet of complacent unconcern. So that was the genesis of these two guys, their argument. Abwa.
Yeah, man.
Aha.
Good morning.
Morning, what's that?
Yeah,
And
I office and I will.
Nebro, sorry, po. Na any online lecture be here. Atuna ka be me yo.
Next answer na.
Yo. Yo, to me, yeah, so nice shine. Yo, but that's it. So the economist people projected that prices will shoot up. And the other school of thought said no. So yes, once the prophet of doom was saying that these items were going to shoot up, the economist people said no. Tomorrow, there is going to be other alternative to solve this problem that you guys are seeing. So what happened? So Paul Ehrlich, who was the biologist, insisted that commodities will become more expensive because they were running out in the face of population explosion. Ehrlich thought rising prices will prove that an overpopulated world was headed towards disastrous scarcity and famine. They believe that once population is increasing, there will be pressure, there will be demand, high demand. So prices will increase, and that will justify why there is the need to check population growth. Then the economist, he asserted the opposite. He said more people meant more brains, better methods of extraction, and lower usage per unit of production. So you see what we are studying here. Once people are crying that when Galamsey is going to destroy the lands and we will not have food, do you know there are people who believe that technology will help us to compensate whatever destruction that is happening in the environment? Yes, there are people like that. That's their belief. And that is why day and night they are using excavators to mine. So when they are doing things of such nature, don't be surprised. This is the thinking of some group of people. You only say, I bet crush you. Yes, there are people thinking like that. So you only say, yeah. Now you hear people are arguing dechemicalization, detoxidization. They are using all the chemistry terms. Have you heard of that? People believe that even if the water is contaminated, there are chemicals that can be dropped into the water, and within 5 days. Have you seen the performance of alloy in dirty water before? When you fetch water from the gutter and you drop alloy in it, do you know what happened? In less than 3 minutes, the color changes to pure water. Have you seen some before? Hello, are you guys there? Hello.
Out or at Barakese Headway and Owabi in the Ashanti region.
You saw some. Did you say you saw some in Owabi?
Yes, dog. Yes, at Barakese Headways and Owabi in the Ashanti region.
So at the Boaswe Waterworks.
Mine was a personal experience. There was this dry season that even the wells at our area got dried off. So there is this stream that passes around that area under somebody's cocoa farm. So I went to the man and he allowed me to dig a hole within the dried water path. Some water started coming. Then that water wasn't that clean. So when we fetched it home, we filled our barrels with it. Then we applied alum to it. And within about, let's say, about 15 minutes, the whole deck settled under it. And then the top ones so clean that even you can even drink it. But I know that alum makes water clean, but it does not kill germs.
Very good. So you see, there are people who are dependent on this theory. So when you see people who are not giving a damn about this Galamsey, that is their thinking. Oh, we would, no matter, even if the whole country is excavated, we know what to do. There are people like that. And there are those who also fear. So that is those who fear and they see doom. They are the prophet of doom. Those who don't see the doom, they are the prophet of complacent unconcern. Oh, tomorrow will take care of itself. Oh, yeah, munidi.
I belong to this group.
Yeah. There are people like that. So Simeon thought that falling prices will show that human ingenuity will make resources cheaper and more widely available. You understand? So the cornucopians refer to individuals who assert that environmental problems faced by society either do not exist or can be solved by technology. So the same thing. So the cornucopians are the same as what? The complacent unconcerned. Don't worry. Market forces, technology will help us to solve the problems. Cornucopians hold an anthropocentric human view. Anthropology is just the study of human behavior, view of the environment, and reject the idea that population growth projections are problematic and the earth has finite resources and carrying capacity. The number of individuals and an environment can support without detrimental impact. So the cornucopians is a futurist who believes that continued progress and provision of material items for mankind can be met by similarly continuing advances in technology. So they don't care. The cornucopians, or the prophet of complete and unconcerned, they don't care. So no, technology will do that for us. Don't worry. Fundamentally, they believe that there is enough matter and energy on earth to provide for population of the world. So there is this guy called Mao Zedong. Mao Zedong. He used to be a Chinese leader. He said that every stomach is attached to hands. So they should not control population. If people want to give birth, let them continue. That was where China's population exploded. Why? Because to him, he says that every stomach is attached to hands. So what it means is that once your stomach is attached to hands, he doesn't see why anybody should go hungry. So if people want to give birth, allow them to give birth. So Simeon won the wager. So in 1990, the bet that they engaged themselves in, the economics people, they won. Prices of metals had reduced by 50%. Why? Because technology had helped. Technology had helped. Yes, the population growth that the prophet of doom all projected or postulated that it had dire consequences. It happened. Nevertheless, technology had compensated for that population that had increased. So take note of these two schools of thought. Now, what are the consequences of resource depletion? There will be environmental degradation, destruction of aesthetic values. Do you know aesthetic values? The grasses and the flowers that are grown to beautify the environment, global warming, increased conflict and civil strife. Now, what is happening? If we don't take care, these Galamseyers will buy guns. Not even they will buy. Now they have them. That is what happened in Congo. That's what happened in Sierra Leone. Those with the diamond. They allow the people to arm themselves. That was the consequences. Ozone layer depletion, environmental injustice, destruction of the ecosystem, extinction of species and varieties, widening the gap between the poor and the rich. They are all consequences that are likely to occur. So the most common criticisms is that cornucopians simply ignore evidences that is contradictory to their position and choose only examples and statistics that already support their perception. For example, they ignore the effect of population growth on the ecosystem, which are essential for the survival of humans. Similarly, some claim that the current standard of living is overstated and ignores the living conditions of the poor around the world. Now, the debate over the effect of population growth on the availability of global resources continues at the local, national, and international circles. Many questions on resource scarcity continues to agitate the minds of humans. Questions of such nature may include, among others, the following. Are global resources being depleted? That's the question people ask. What agriculture policies should be pursued? What energy sources should be pursued? How can global resources be protected? These and many more we ask ourselves. So these and many other questions and concerns inform people's conception about where tomorrow resources will come from. This border on this perception as to whether they share the concerns expressed by any of or both the two schools of thought explained above. So what is your stand on this? Are you for the doom or you are for the cornucopians? That is a question I leave to the class. Be thinking about that. Any question? Submission, omission, contribution. Hello.
Hello, sir. Yes, sir.
Uh-huh.
No questions so far, but I side with the cornucopians.
Oh, okay. Why?
Because not globally or naturally, no matter how now the world is divided and every country has its sovereignty, and so you cannot stop anybody from reproducing, especially when we bring culture into the scene. You cannot stop people from reproduce. This our human right and things cannot limit our production. Therefore, population will surely increase. And so if population is going to increase, then we must look at other things that we can do to help those the additional numbers that are coming, and also to help protect the environment. That is a technological factor. So it's only technology that can actually help us, because population there, it will always increase. You can't stop people from giving birth. So we can just lease, or we can depend on technology, or the more brains that will come to help manage the resources that we have. I support them in that regard, but the destruction of the environment is the problem here.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. Any other, please? Are you okay with the first lecture? Are you okay with it?
Yes, sir.
Very okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me quickly take you through the lecture 2. I know we have some few minutes. Don't worry. This one is not much. This is just the classifications. So lesson 2, the classifications. Can you see it on your screen?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to take you through the classifications. Okay. So let's look at that. So classifications of resources. So look at the diagram. So resource divided into 3: natural resource, human resource, and then capital or cultural resource. Now our focus is on the natural. So under the natural, you see it has also been divided into 2: non-renewable and then renewable. Have you seen that? Under the non-renewable, we have what is called non-recyclable. And then we have the recyclable. Then we go to the renewable. Then we have what is called flow or stock. Then we have continuous or non-stockable. Then under the stock, we have short-term, medium-term, and then long-term. Have you seen that?
Yes, sir.
So at the highest level, resources is divided into 3: human capital and that of natural, but our focus is on the natural. Under the natural, we have renewable and non-renewable. Under that, we have recyclable and non-recyclable. Now, strictly speaking, take note of this statement. Strictly speaking, all natural resources are renewable in the sense that they are all natural cycle. Please, somebody is talking at the background. Please. So take note of this. In the long run, all natural resources are what?
Renewable.
So somebody will ask, if all natural resources in the long run is renewable, then why do we have renewable and non-renewable natural resources? It's a question you might answer it one day. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. They are usually subdivided into, according to their ability to renew and reproduce themselves at a rate meaningful to humans. See, this is part of the answer. Meaningful, yes, all resources, all natural resources are renewable in the long run. But the reason why it is classified as renewable and non-renewable is for us to know that some of them, it will take maybe forever for it to renew, and you and I will not live forever. Do you get it? Yes. If we stop galamsey, the water can renew itself in 5 years. It will renew itself. It will go back to its original state. No two ways about that. If galamsey activity should stop today, by the year 2030, you can just go back and fetch it and drink just as it used to be. It will renew itself. Natural resources, all natural resources are renewable. But the question is, how many people will live up to 2030 to even get access to that water? That is the reason why it is classified as renewable and non-renewable, so that it will conscientize you when you are using it. So a classification of resource is necessary in order to determine the different techniques to be employed in conserving or preserving them. That's another key point. How am I going to get it? How long will I live to witness that? These and many questions. You need the reasons why we do that. So resource continuum. So when you look at one end, exhaustible, and then infinitely renewable. So those that can be exhausted, fossil fuel. You know fossil fuel, dead plants and animals. Petrol. NASA. To me too, Amanesa. You know you can extract oil for it to get finished. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Plants and animals, forests. That's what gives us the fossil fuel. We have non-metal minerals. We have metallic minerals. They fall under the renewability. It depends on the use level and human investment. And then there are those that they are infinitely renewable, solar energy. So long as you are in Africa and you fall within the tropics, and we are there, you will get it. Tidal waves, water resources, we get them. Like I said, that even though these galamseyers have damaged or contaminated our water bodies. But water, tidal waves, solar energy, they are what? Infinitely renewable. If you leave it, it will renew by itself. But there are those that get exhausted. Not that it cannot be renewed, but that one, only God knows how long it will take. If you mine all the gold, if you mine all the oil for it to get exhausted, it will be renewed. But how long it will take for it to renew, nobody can tell. That's what this diagram seeks to present to you and I. So a resource continuum is presented as an alternative to the conventional classification into flow and non-flow and fund resource. At one end, there are resources such as fossil fuel, which are exhaustible and non-renewable. They are available at a fixed stock and are irretrievably changed in the course of use. At the other end of the continuum lies an infinitely renewable resource such as solar energy and water resource. I've shown the diagram to you. So look at both ends, on your left and on your right. So you have those that are exhaustible and those that are infinitely renewable. That's what I've talked about. Then we have non-renewable resource, also called non-replenishable, fund, stock, inventory, or inorganic resource. That resources have been built up or evolved over ecological time span and cannot be used without depleting the stock and raising questions of ultimate exhaustibility, since their rate of formation is so slow as to be meaningless in terms of human lifespan. So if they can be restocked, they are saying that it is very slow and it will take a very long time, that it will be very meaningless for humans. When you need 120, okay, it will take 200 years. So what is the essence of that? That is what is called a non-renewable. All minerals and lands are substances that have taken millions of years to form. So the minerals, gold, diamond, magnesium, all the minerals, it has taken millions of years to form. You study geomorphology, you understand land formation. So from human perspective, are now fixed in supply. I don't know, it take a very long time for it to form. We see it as fixed, and therefore once you finish it, we see it as non-renewable. Remember the caveat I gave you from the beginning, that all natural resources are renewable in the long run. But in the long run, it will become meaningless for lifespan, human lifespan. 500 years. When will be already 500 years? No. But some of them, it takes millions of years. And we see it as something that is non-renewable in human sense. There must therefore be a limit to the quantity which can ultimately be used. We neither know where this limit lies or whether the substance will still be regarded as a resource. So resources are consumed by use. So resources that are consumed by use, as you are using it, now as petrol, gas, coal to say BDA, they are indeed irreplaceable. Resources that are theoretically recoverable, such as all elemental minerals and land in the natural condition, pristine or virgin lands. So as you are a virgin, be upon the same kind. What was that kind of virgin being? And examples of elements such as potash, phosphorus, sulfur, they are all in the soil. We introduce chemicals into it and we destroy it. or we damage it. Yeah. Land cannot be damaged. Land cannot be destroyed, but it can be degraded. That's the right term. So resources that are recyclable, so it can be turned into another form. Metallic minerals, such as copper, can turn copper into another use. Iron can turn it to another use. Zinc, you can turn it or recycle it. That's what we need. Fossil fuel remains, or fossil fuels, or fossils are remains or impressions of organisms of past geological ages. Fossil fuels were formed from organic matter, plants and animals, which were buried millions of years ago. In time, the pressure of the massive weight of rocks and mud, which covered the organic matter, created heat, which changed this matter over a period of several hundred millions of years. So we use these energy sources as fuel. Therefore, they are called fossil fuel. Certain areas under natural and undisturbed conditions may be said to be indispensable for the purpose of study and for inspirational values, which can come only from the combination of scenery and solitude. Once such area is radically exploited or modified the original or natural values in such land can not be wholly recaptured. Yeah, that's true. Now, our forests, some of them are gone. And yet the surface will be because of the chemicals that have been introduced into the land. And there are those that we call renewable or the flow. They are resources that are defined as those which are naturally renewed within a sufficient lifespan to be of relevance to human beings. Very, very important. So is it renewable according to the time of life that you and I can benefit from? If that is it, then praise the Lord. But if that is not it, then it doesn't fall under the renewable. So examples include air, water, land, forest, grassland, animals, soil, and human power. Others include solar radiation, wind power, and tidal waves. These are resources that are renewable but can be exploited to exhaustion. If the rate of consumption exceeds the rate of natural replenishment, such resources can be lost completely. In other words, they can be mined out like any mineral stock. At some point, the depletion process of a critical zone resources may be so far advanced that natural recovery of the supply flows fail to take place even when all exploitations have ceased. Then finally, resources that depend on the biological reproduction for their renewal most obviously come under such category. When plants, animals, and birds population become small and dispersed, they may not only fail to reproduce, but also become more vulnerable to predations. It is well known that overfishing, overhunting, overpopulation, and the destruction of human habitat or destruction of habitat have already reduced the regenerative capacity of many flora and fauna. When we talk of flora and fauna, we are referring to plants and animals, or flowers and animals, species drastically. And numerous examples can be given where exploitation has been pursued to its ultimate conclusion or extension. So basically, this one just introduces you to the classifications of resources. Remember, I told you that resources are at 3 levels: human, capital, and then natural resource. Our focus is on natural resource. Under natural resource, we have renewable and non-renewable. However, I told you that in the long run, all natural resources are renewable. But the reason why it is classified as renewable and non-renewable is that it will help us to preserve it. Number 2, it will also conscientize us how to handle it. And then also know that some of them, the period that it will take for it to be renewed, it will not be meaningful for human beings to stay around up to that period to be useful to us. And that is why we are cautioned on or we classify them as non-renewable, and then the renewable. Then we have the flow. We have those that get out of stock as you use it, like the fuel, like gas, like coal is like charcoal. They burn out. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is that for the classification. That one is a very short one. Okay. Any question, please? Hello.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, any question?
Yeah, I don't know whether you ended, but the course outline. How many units are we covering for this?
Oh, we are doing usually we do 8. You know, we meet 4 times. So each time we meet, I try to do 2. So we have 8.
Oh, okay.
However, in fact, your numbers is small. So I don't know. I doubt if the man will print the books, because if you are going to print the books and the numbers are not huge, the cost involved it doesn't make economic sense. The politics and the climatology, they were leftovers. That's what was given to you. However, if maybe we are also looking at sandwich students for institute, so if he does production there and you are still within time, then I may ask him to print a few copies for you guys. But for this one, he doesn't. Yesterday he was asking, I said, I didn't even know you were the same group. Your number is not encouraging. You guys are not even up to 20. So you need to pay attention to the discussions and then you follow suit. Okay. It's almost 11 o'clock. By if we had started earlier, by now we would have even gone. But thank you for your patience. In fact, Saturday mornings we do go for prayer meeting. So I went for prayer meeting, and my place to my hostel is quite a distance. That is how come I kept long. I believe next week it won't happen as such. We'll start early in the morning and then we can finish early. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope to meet you. Have a nice day.
Please,
Thank
the
you, sir.
slide.
Please, the slides, please.
In fact, the
Because
slides,
of the short time,
please come again.
because of the short time to our examination, so we need the slides as early
Okay.
as possible.
Okay, I'll talk to the chief
Put
examiner and
it
then
on this same page so that we can tap on it.
no problem. Vanessa is around. Usually I give it to her and then she makes it available to you. But I will speak to the chief and then we see how best I can do that and release it to you guys.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Okay, take care. Have a nice day.
Please, I think Vanessa made a submission earlier on that the next class will not take place because the lecturer suggests that we do it on Tuesday. Vanessa, I hope I'm right.
So Tuesday, which time?
Vanessa.
Sir, 6 o'clock.
Yeah, Tuesday, 6 o'clock.
Okay.
Tuesday,
Thank you.
6 o'clock. Meeting
Okay.
Dr. March for
That is population.
Is it 6 p.m. or 6 o'clock a.m.?
sorry. I will be meeting Dr.
6 p.m.
So during the entire period of population, we'll be meeting him at Tuesday 2 p.m. because he wants to teach between the period
Melissa, check your network for us.
Oh, okay. About 12 yeah. Yeah, sorry. So we'll be meeting him. Please, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
So we'll be meeting him Tuesday, 6 p.m. throughout the entire period. Please, are we okay?
We are
Come
okay,
again.
but maybe the slides. No, we are supposed to meet today. If we could not meet, maybe the slides should make them available to us so that we'll prepare ahead of time.
Instead of me to tell you this, you are telling me this. Okay, so according to Max, we are meeting him Tuesday, 6 p.m. Sorry? Hello?
Oh, no one's talking. It was this very little girl around me who was trying to disturb me. Go on.
Okay. Tuesday, 6 p.m. He's
Okay.
also be having class from the 11 to 3.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that is all Tuesday, 6 p.m. Okay. Thank you very much.